So, as you know, we've been in New Zealand since the end of November, and yeah, we spent a lot of the time fixing the boat, which is not really what we dreamed of. Doing boats need a lot of work on it, and we've realised that since we've had this boat. Sometimes I feel like I've had my more than our fair share, but I don't know what our fair share is, and a lot of people have stories of things that happen to them, and you think I'm glad I'm not in their shoes really. But anyway, I wish I wasn't in my shoes at the moment, because yeah, we waiting for a weather window. It's raining a lot in New Zealand. It's it's really turned now. It's kind of, the solar's not working. It's just grey. It rains all the time, and so we're all waiting for a weather window. Everyone is just itching to leave, being very patient. And yes, finally there's a weather window come up in this week, but we noticed something strange on the engine. The propeller was going round. There was a strange thudding sound and a rubbing sound as it went round. Been a lot of investigating as usual, and it sounds like it's the Vetus coupling bushings, which kind of cushion the engine really as it goes through that section which joins the C drive. I'm not going to get technical because I don't know. I know a little bit enough to kind of know what we're dealing with, but the situation now is it's not a good idea for us to put the engine on and go anywhere. So long story short, where we're supposed to be leaving New Zealand in the nearest weather window, we're now getting towed into the marina tomorrow. So it's just kind of like the highs and the lows. This is like one of those real low lows.
It's very windy and the tide is very strong, so it's the two worst things.
And I know that again, it's third world problems, but we're trying to do this one thing, and there's always things come up, and there seems to be a lot in New Zealand, and also we're now totally into our emergency fund, and I just don't know how much of that is going to last to cover the cost for all this. And then there's a point of, do you go if you haven't got any backup? So anyway, that's where we're at, and it doesn't feel good, but we'll see what happens.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing.
So it's the morning of the move, and we're just waiting for Sea Power to come out with their boats to help us tow in. We got about 1 or 2 knots of current, which is running kind of past the marina, and we've also got heavy gusts coming offshore. So this is possibly the trickiest manoeuvre we've ever done in this boat. We haven't got a bow thruster and we haven't got an engine, and we're all feeling a bit stressed.
Huh?
You feeling stressed?
Nope.
So the idea is we're going to manoeuvre the boat in with the boats. One of them's a marina boat, one's a Sea Power boat, and we've also got our rig in the water as well. But we're only 15 horsepower. There's no way it's going to do much in this current. But anyway, see what they say when they come out.
Okay, so the dinghies are coming. That's the dinghy. There's the other one, so we have 2.
As you approach, it looks like you're motoring. Yeah, the water's moving so fast.
Yeah. So when they came over on the ribs this morning, yeah, there was the guy from the marina, Shane, and yeah, he was on one starboard side, and then we got our lovely friends on Magic Dragon. We've got Rod and his son Peter helping us on the port side.
So you're probably wondering why is the dinghies everywhere, and why is there people calling each other?
Yeah, the man's saying it'll be good to have Rod out here as a backup, if that's okay.
Well, the reason why is because we can't use our engine, and we want to get into the marina to fix it, and so we can't use the engine, so we're gonna have to get towed by dinghies, and so that's why we have 2 dinghies on our side, and then there's going to be another one coming, and yeah, that's basically what's happening. It's very windy and the tide is very strong, so it's the 2 worst things, and so yeah. Yeah, it's kind of scary.
End up going up towards the ferry crossings. We'll be fine. We're in open water, which is the luxury power. Once we get going, we need to be going forward. Yeah. We need to be moving forward.
Stop putting up! It is so chaos. Oh god. It's so chaos.
We had Mike from Sea Power, so he was kind of keeping the boat, well actually he was at the side as well, making sure the boat had enough power to get up on that anchor, and we kept straight into the wind and didn't just sort of drift off. And I was in the rib also just as kind of bow thruster, because yeah, I don't know if you remember, we haven't got a bow thruster either, so pretty much no engine, no bow thruster. But we managed to get enough power in all that really strong current, because it was really strong, and with the wind, the strong gusts, we managed to get enough power to pull the anchor up.
So we just got the anchor up now.
And then yeah, Woody was steering and he came around the corner nicely. We were a bit worried that we would just get blown around, but they all kept the power up, got into the marina, and it was a little bit of a sort of snaky entrance near the end, but we used the ribs to sort of as thrusters to push the boat in the way we wanted it to go. Yeah, we got in without any scrapes. That was nice. It feels a bit calmer now, really, because last night I didn't really sleep very well because the wind really picked up about 2:30, and I felt really vulnerable. So you know, if you haven't got if you drag anchor, alarm goes off, you get up, put the engine on, motor forwards, get out of the situation, relay the anchor. But with no engine, there's like pretty much nothing we could have done if we dragged anchor. So I'm glad to get off that anchorage really in the marina.
So it's been a hectic day. We had a tow-in. As soon as we discovered the problem, we had a tow-in, which wasn't easy because there's quite strong currents and gusts around here. The engine works fine, but the shaft was obviously, there's something very wrong with it, so we didn't want to use that, and our bow thruster is also not in place at the moment. So we got in, and Alex and Mike from Sea Power, and they were great. They came over this morning, helped get the boat in, and we're straight down to it. We had to move the engine back on the cradle. I had to take a bit of the cradle apart to give that space so we could actually get the Vetus coupling apart. And this is how it's looking now. And we also had to take the back part of the cradle off to be able to move the engine back in order to create enough space to do that. Took the coupling apart. I thought it was the Vetus coupling bushings, the soft bits, which basically buffers the shaft, but they were fine, and it turns out it was the keyway on the shaft. It basically ground away and created a groove in the shaft. Now that's bad news. I was hoping it would be the Vetus couplings because we just replaced them, but now it means the shaft needs replacing. We have to take the upper part of the C drive apart to get to it, and to take that apart we need to drain a lot of oil because there's a reservoir which is above that, which is all going to sort of come out. It looks like we might have to go down the fabrication line because I can't find a serial number or a product number for the shaft or the gearbox, which suggests it might be custom made.
Here we are, and we were waiting for a weather window. In fact, you know, the end of this week was supposed to be a good weather window, and we would have checked out and left maybe on Friday, but you know, at the very last minute that we try to leave New Zealand, we're suddenly in this situation with half of our engine, or part of our engine is being taken apart and it is unusable, which makes me kind of all start to go for all sorts of scenarios. What we're going to do about our visas, do we need to stay here, get a job? Also, we're supposed to be in Fiji this year because, you know, for John's wedding, my brother's wedding, and Rowan's coming out. And how do we do that? Do we end up having to fly there? And just the whole thing, suddenly it just escalates, and you know, you suddenly have all these unknown and decisions you have to make, and just not knowing what's going to go on. I mean, we don't know half time what's happening, but at the moment it just, who knows what's going to happen here. But
so while we're waiting for our engine to get repaired, which we actually don't know how long that'll be because they're kind of going to try out different things to fix that shaft, but we are making the most of New Zealand in autumn going into winter. So yes, it is very cold, but every morning, because we're kind of on the dock, we're getting out, we're walking, and we've so many lovely walks you can go on, and in the morning it's just misty and it's beautiful. So this is another little walk we found, which is in the Bay of Islands, and you know, I quite look forward to it every morning actually. Me and Woody and the kids stay behind, get on with their schooling. It's cool.
It's about 9:30, I think, and the mechanics should have been here this morning, and they haven't turned up. This is so typical. I mean, when we came in, I kind of wanted to get some mechanics on the job to get the job turned around quickly to hit the weather window, but that didn't happen. And 2 weeks later, we're still here. So I kind of think I should have just done the job myself. Probably could have got it done a lot faster, but we have been waiting for parts. The parts should have arrived at the end of last week. And I still haven't heard anything, but I went up there on Friday. They said they would come down on Monday. It's now Monday morning, they're not here, and it's really frustrating because I don't want to go over there and kind of bother them too much because I don't want to piss them off, but at the same time I kind of need this job done because there's another weather window appearing this week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And if this job's not done, we're not going to get out of here. This is a problem the world over with mechanics. They get on the job, start it, great, and then the job's just left as other priorities take over, and we're left waiting.
so while we were waiting, we had other things to keep an eye on, things that were again outside of anyone's control.
So we got the C drive mount off at the moment because the engine mounts are actually being replaced, but they haven't got any in, so we're just waiting for them to come in the next order, and then we can get the coupling back together, and then hopefully test the engine for the timing and the turbo, and if that's okay, then we can go.
I think it's one of those things that you would never ever do a major engine job like this when you're just about to leave on passage. We would never choose to do it, but we kind of haven't got any choice because, you know, our visas have already run out, so we're on interim visas, and we've got to get to Fiji by the beginning of July because Rowan and all our family are coming out to visit us. It's been like planned for years, but it's just one of those things you would not do before you're about to go, but here we are doing it anyway.
Even though we replaced the engine mount, it wasn't until we started putting the coupling back together that we realised that the C drive mounts were also shot, and there was basically no adjustment left in them, so we couldn't align the engine properly. So we had to get some new engine mounts, which I believe are cushy mounts, on the C drive. So we had to wait another day for those to turn up, and luckily they turned up this morning, a lot quicker than the other parts of this job. So at least the C drive's back together. We've got the engine mounts on. We got the mounts for the C drive on as well, although obviously they need adjusting. And so now it's just the coupling.
So we've been in the marina now for a couple of weeks, waiting for this new part, this new Vetus part, to go on the shaft.
We're still waiting for the parts from Australia, which has got to come from Europe. That's for the Vetus coupling.
It was supposed to arrive on Friday and it's now Wednesday, and so we've missed the next weather window as well. We don't know why it's delayed, nor do they, so we're going to try and do a Skype call with them to Holland tonight maybe, and just try and chase it up.
So the shaft is just getting the keyway cut in it. Of course, the other thing with leaving is the longer we leave it, the further it gets into the New Zealand winter, and it does get cold here.
It's because it's got really cold now, and we've had to use various methods of keeping warm because we don't have any heating on the boat, and it's like, if you think about it, we're floating in very cold water. But yeah, at night time is particularly challenging. You usually like a couple of layers of duvets, but the kids have both got like 2 duvets on their beds.
On a night we're using pans. We're kind of boiling the kettle and tipping the water in the pans and then putting them in the beds.
And so they move around the boat. So earlier in the evening when the kids go to bed, Woody fills them up and puts them in all their beds, and then when they've gone to sleep, we sort of steal the pots, and then we put the pots in our beds and then warm up our bed.
If you like following our story, please hit the super thanks and help towards the creation of these videos. And if you'd like to have more access, we would love it if you join our Patreon family, where you get ad-free videos, cockpit sessions, downloads, guides, and you can message us directly.
It's been very overcast, and so we're not generating a lot of solar power, and the generator is down because we had to send the injector and the injectors off to get serviced. Not supposed to plug in because we haven't got a WEF certificate, which is a special certificate of compliance that you need in New Zealand before you even plug a boat in. But the thing is, that's about $140 just for the inspection, and then you have to make modifications to your boat, which could be another couple of $100, and we hope to be out here in a week. But there it is. That's the situation we're in at the moment, and we're just going to roll with the punches and wait for the weather window and wait for these parts to turn up from Australia. Nice to get off the boat and stretch your legs and have a bit of exercise. So we're back in action, and Alex, the mechanic, he's brought the coupler and he pre-assembled it in the workshop with the shaft. So the gears are back on the shaft, and that shaft has been metal sprayed to take out all the imperfections and then re-machined to get it like nice and smooth again. He's also filled in the old keyway and done another one on the other side of the shaft, and so we've got a good strong tight fit there on the keyway.
Pretty well goes through the bottom. It just assists with lifting the key out of the keyway.
We're having a few problems with the alignment at the moment. I think he mistakenly put the coupling on before aligning it, and is now worried that we're not going to get it aligned properly because the mounts on the engine are not the actual engine mounts. The cradle is mounted on the engine mounts, and then the engine is mounted on the cradle, and there's a bit of movement on the engine on the cradle, so we're a bit concerned that it's not going to align properly. So the alignment tool turned out to be a little bit too short, so we needed to get a slightly longer one made, and I was told it would take about an hour, and that was 2 days ago. And apparently they subcontract that sort of work out to another engineering firm called TOWED, which is just a little bit further down the road. So I went up there yesterday to find out what was going on, because I expected him to turn up all day and he didn't, and turns out the other company hadn't made this tool, and so they would get onto it straight away. So 2 days waiting for a tool that's only supposed to be an hour in the making. And another weather window sort of comes and goes. It's getting really frustrating now. I mean, it's been over a month to get this job done.
But when you don't know when things are going to happen, you don't really know what you're waiting for and when. So that's the bit, I think, it's like the unknown really. That's the really difficult thing to kind of hold, is that you see everyone leaving. Goodbye to Magic Dragon, and yet again we're left behind trying to fix something on our boat.
Okay, bye guys. So Magic Dragon just left. Meet them in Tonga, maybe even somewhere else, maybe in Fiji.
They're going and we're kind of still sitting here just waiting. So I think that's the hard bit really.
Using the alignment tool and marking the feet of the engine, because the engine basically slides up and down inside this cradle, and while you can adjust the engine mounts of the cradle, you can't adjust the feet of the engine that well, although there is a bit of play. There's like a few millimeters of play in each one of them, so even if you line it up perfectly when you slide it back and put the feet back into the cradle, there's still some movement there. So what we've had to do is mark the cradle, mark where the feet go, and then when we slide it forward to align it up, slide it back to put the coupling on, and then slide it forward again to join it, we can make sure that those feet are exactly in the right place. And the reason I've got all this on is because it's bloody freezing today. We're kind of in the New Zealand winter now. We should have left a month ago, and each day is getting colder and colder. And we're pulling out the thermals out the back of the cupboards that have never seen use.
The butter is solid and the coconut is solid, and it's definitely time to leave. It's that cold.
You want me up? Friday the 2nd of June, and we're still waiting for this part to arrive. We should have left a month ago because of various things that you know about, weather and mechanical issues. We're still here. So anyway, this morning we're going on our daily walk. At least we're keeping fit while we're stuck on the dock. And the marina's thinning out quite a lot now. A lot of the cruising boats have left. There's been 2 sort of big weather windows and a few sort of smaller ones, and people have been taking advantage. Although we are going to have to miss out Tonga now, I believe, and head straight for Fiji. There are worse places to stay, although the marina is expensive. They put us on a daily rate, not a monthly rate, even though we told them that we'd probably be here for a month. Hopefully the end is in sight soon.
So every morning we've been trying to warm up in the morning and stay fit. So we get out of bed and go walking.
And even months after the last cyclones, there's still a lot of damage on the paths.
And we found this nice little path that goes, it's actually the path that goes to Pahia along the coast. But we found a little nature reserve which the community have kind of set up and look after, called the Harrison Nature Reserve. And the idea is because it's trying to help with pest control. So they're trying to catch all the possums and the rats and the stoats as they're trying to pass through this land. And every morning as we go along, we pass this guy carrying buckets of oyster shells that he collects on the beach, and he carries them up here and deposits them on the path to help with, you know, drainage and to stop people slipping. And actually, probably while you're slipping, you're eroding the soil as well.
Yeah, so this path is completely covered in oyster shells that those volunteers have picked up from the beach.
So he delivers them up here, as well as some wood sometimes to repair the path, because in some places the path, like because of the recent storms and the excessive rain, there's bits where it's just washed down, and then the path down by the river is kind of eroding away, and it's just being held up with planks. But you know, this guy will carry these planks up and fix them in place. It not only keeps him fit, but probably keeps him very happy too, and all of us. Yeah, so I think it kind of shows that, you know, everyone can do their small bit if you want to, and this guy's just doing his small bit, and it makes a big difference. Everyone sort of doing their little bit means that, you know, you can make an impact, really, an impact in a small level, but actually it has a big impact. Waiting gets getting more difficult as the weather gets colder, because we have no heating on the boats, and so we pretty much go to sleep in the same amount of clothes that we wear most of the day, which is kind of like everything, really. So what it is the floor is so cold, I have to wear my boots now. The cold water basically is just coming right through the boat. So hot chocolates, crumpets, and toast, that sort of thing. Another thing that kept us going was being able to take our hot drinks up to the Marina Lounge and doing our schooling there. Finally, the day came when the engine was all put back together and the final tests were done. Do you notice any differences?
Yeah, the engines. Yeah, I can't hear the engine. It's like normally when you're on the boat, it's like shuddering, but now it's just like you hear like you think. But that's it.
Well, we've changed engine mounts, we've changed the coupling, we've changed the C drive mounts. In fact, there isn't anything. I don't think we've nearly changed the entire engine sort of cradling system. That's so much quieter. I can't believe that we've lived for so long with this kind of noise and vibration, thinking it's just normal, and then now we've changed it, it's just like a different boat.
So is that it? Is there like nothing wrong with the boat then?
Like,
don't say that.
Don't say that. Remember last time the whole floor.
So we've serviced the turbo, we've serviced the injectors, we've replaced all the engine mounts, what else have we done? We've changed the C drive mounts, we've changed the coupling, and we've repaired the coupling, and we repaired the shaft, the upper C drive shaft.
I'm going to pretend I know what you're saying.
There's not much more we can do or afford to make this boat any better at the moment. So just wait for the next thing.
Yeah, I've been so stressed this whole time. I mean, because it's a lot of the unknown. We don't know what's wrong and everything else. But anyway, we went out and the revs got up. That's been the latest thing. We got the revs up and it's fine. And the engine sounds so much quieter, as everyone's saying. And I think we're going to go on the next weather window. Seriously, so many times I actually thought we must just give up. You know, yet again, I just thought we can't handle this anymore. So don't forget to tune in for the next episode and find out if we finally leave New Zealand. Thank you for watching and enjoying these videos. So if you're the type of person that would like to thank us in return, then you can simply click on the super thanks button below, or otherwise you can support us on Patreon and get more than just 4 videos a month from as little as $3 a month. We look forward to seeing you there.
I had a dream last night.